1st of April 25, and yeah, apparently Keir was having a big summit in London over the next 2 days. Well, yesterday and today, and 40 countries have arrived, and it's about people smuggling. So yeah, I'm totally in favour of that. I don't think he's the kind of leader I'd want, but yeah, I'm totally in favour. He's like a strict dad to me, and where are the Star Maristas? Apparently, I think representatives of Albania, Vietnam, and one other country that tends to be from where people come from are attending it. So it's not just the ones that it's happening to, it's the ones that they're coming from. Well, three of them anyway. So that's something anyway. Uh, yeah, because apparently our illegal immigration is record breaking at the moment across the water. I mean, that only makes up about, I don't know, 5 or 10% of the asylum seekers. I think the rest of them are like student visas, work visas, just travel visas, just come here to visit. And then they say, I've even seen people on YouTube getting interviewed, saying they maybe came from Algeria for a course in Birmingham Uni or something, but then they get worried about Rishi Sunak talking about Rwanda, so they move to Ireland, probably because they heard that's easier in the moment. I don't know if it's that much easier, but it's just because they're both really easy. But yeah, it's saying here.
At a world first summit with more than 40 countries in, the Prime Minister will urge the likes of Vietnam to unite behind a new approach to smash smuggling gangs with greater intelligence sharing amid record levels of illegal migration.
Well, Vietnam and Iraq. I mean, France. Well, France. And he wrote to the Daily Mail yesterday. He done an article, and he said, and we've even get the French now to start stopping the boats when it's in shallow water. Because at the moment, as soon as it's in water, they'll let it go. So how ridiculous is that? I mean, all these Western countries, at some point, they're going to have accept zero asylum seekers in an illegal fashion. Uh, when that happens, I don't know, but it's going to happen. Uh, Labour and that would say, no, we don't want to do that at the moment. People that are Labour centric, the politicians, for some reason, I don't know why, even in the Tories, no, we don't want that to happen. It's going to happen because the people of those countries are going to keep shifting to a part of the right that these people say are bad, even though I don't know. So it's going to happen anyway. Because on this subject, and then illegal immigration is a small part of the migration. I mean, I don't know or asylum seeking even, but what 5-10% of the migration total. So, and I think Keir's probably plan is as well to make a lot more routes legal. So you're not making them illegal anymore because you're making them legal in the routes that they come to. But on this illegal thing, because it's so visually uh, bad for Keir Starmer, he's acting on it. And Keir, I don't really feel he's very left. He is left to a degree, but that thing he done in welfare the other week on the disability benefits and that. I mean, John Redwood and Nigel Farage approve of that. So, well, I've not heard them approve, but I think they will. I think Nigel says, let's wait and see if they get through, which means really he approves. Um, yeah. So, a lot of stuff, is not very, you don't think, as traditional left at all. I think he's just a sort of businessman, really, just pragmatist. He's doing what he thinks. He's doing stuff that he wasn't elected for. Um, he got one of the lowest election turnouts ever, votes. 33% Labour got. It's very little, of 59% who voted. But anyway, I'm all for him doing this, and this is to do with illegal immigration. So it's only illegal stuff he's doing. Oh no, wait a minute. Um, So yeah, if it wants to get international agreement, especially France. I mean, Britain and France could solve this overnight if they wanted. You know, really, what I would do is I would send the dinghies back or send the people back. See what France does about it first of all. If France says we're not taking them, okay, we've got. I think that's what Trump would do, and I mean, I'm not a fan of Trump apart from one issue, but yeah, and Keir even made a PM's thing. So let's take a look at this.
My message to people smugglers is this. We're breaking your business model and leaving you nowhere to hide. We're working with law enforcement partners across the world to freeze your assets, to ban your travel, and put you behind bars. When I was this country's chief prosecutor, I locked up terrorists who plotted to blow up planes across the Atlantic. Now I'm going after the criminals who put people on small boats across the Channel. We're boosting enforcement with a new border security command. We're giving the police more.
Well, that's just one type. You know, we still get the ones coming through in lorries and even just travel visas, student visas, work visas.
Power to stop smugglers in their tracks. And we're making sure no one can profit from this vile trade. Since the election, this government has returned over 20,000 people who have no right to be here, and we aren't going to stop. Returns will continue to increase. My plan for change will save lives, secure our borders, and smash the gangs for good.
I mean, I would call him nobody likes him, Keir, basically, you know. He's nobody's friend, really. He would say he's doing getting things done, but Starmer backs return hubs for failed asylum seekers, but says it's not a Rwanda scheme. Well, it is, except the difference is that they can still hang around while their asylum claim's going through, so they can appeal and appeal and appeal. What the Rwanda scheme was about was if you got here, you went to Rwanda first, and then they decided, and if you were rejected, you could stay in Rwanda or you could just go home, which I think most of them would have probably just done, but this is different. They can still get here and they can still hang around, and they're going to take that risk, you know, because they can think, well, I could even go to Ireland if it's getting close to my time. I can get a ferry over to Ireland or a plane to Northern Ireland, and then I'll get travel down to Ireland, you know, that sort of thing. So, and it really is irony that he's doing the same thing, really. And here's the sort of story we've got. Albanian digging migrants, boast of hotel luxury in latest TikTok advertising 3k safe passage to UK. I mean, they say it's really hard to stop. I think it's actually really easy. Even if just taking down on these TikTok things, because I've even seen them myself, you know. If you look on Twitter, you can see them. I mean, when you look at immigration on YouTube, you're more likely to it's somebody telling you loopholes for visas to the West rather than someone talking about immigration as a debate or whatever, you know. So, yeah, I mean, I've seen this myself. And then with Albania, we've got a deal where we might just send them right back since they come over, so I don't know what they're doing in the hotel. Rishi Sunak made a big thing about us having a deal. Yeah, here's the European Union. I think they're ahead of us now. Ahead of Britain.
His comments came after the European Union gave states the green light to pay third countries to take migrants whose asylum claims have been rejected.
So they're going to start doing that, the European Union.
Britain is expected to approach countries in the Balkans such as Albania and ask them if they want to set up the first centers for arrivals from nations like who cannot be returned to their home countries.
So I'm not really sure what. So he's actually processing their asylum claim here, so they can hang around, appeal. Maybe people will help them here as well. Maybe they can move to Ireland if it's getting close to their decision. So why is he sending them to a centre in Albania? Does that mean that they're getting a chance to become Albanian? I'm not really sure. But slippery Keir, I would call him really.
It would differ from the flagship policy of putting illegal migrants on one-way flights to Rwanda without first allowing them to claim asylum, which was grounded by courts because judges ruled the East African country was not a safe destination.
So that's also saying is the difference. Under Keir, they'll be allowed to claim asylum here.
Asked at his major summit on immigration if the UK was looking at return hubs, Sir Keir replied, the in-principle approach that we take is that we will look at anything that works. Obviously that's got to be consistent with international law and it's got to be cost effective. The Rwanda scheme was neither of those.
I mean, my advice to anyone is that if you're worried about this, you need to vote reform as a protest vote on one issue. As an Overton window shift, Keir's going to make more legal routes, basically. That's why he's going to solve it, really.
He added that he had already been to Italy to have an in-depth discussion with its Premier Giorgia Meloni about her proposals for tackling illegal migration, which include processing asylum seekers in Albania. She said in a video message played to delegates at the Organized Immigration Crime Summit in Lancaster House, a model that was criticized at first, but that then has gained increasing consensus, so much so that today, European Union is proposing to set up return hubs in third countries. This means that we were right and that the courage to lead the way has been rewarded.
I mean, it's very obvious we need to get third countries involved, because these people are moving. They've maybe, we don't know if they're considered all continents. We don't know if they've ruled out many continents. We don't know if they've ruled out a country by how it looks or whatever. We don't know if they've maybe only got maybe 20 countries they want to come to. And you could really think of them as Disneylands, basically, really. So if people are having to leave their country, well, most of them I don't think even need to leave their country, but if they have to, it should be their neighbouring country, it should be taking them in or whatever. But in this case, like, if you need a third country, then so be it. There must be countries in the world who want people, you know what I mean? I mean, Syria recently, when that new guy came in, he said all his fighters could become Syrian, and I think a lot of them are actually not Syrian at the moment. So Syria is going to be the first long-distance multicultural society, possibly, of these sort of continents, voluntarily, by the looks of it, if that goes through, because I think his fighters were from very far away, a lot of them. Yeah. So we've returned 24,000 people, but I mean, 1.4 million people came last year, under Boris's waves. Yeah, the thing is, it's an embarrassment for him, really, and it was a real embarrassment that Rishi used to call him "stop the boats," because that seemed to make it sound even harder than it is, because it's dinghies, stop the dinghies. But that's just part of it. Of the illegal immigration, that's maybe, I don't know, 10% or whatever. Of the total migration, it's probably like 0.1% or something, so yeah, we'll see how it goes anyway. But I'm in favour of anything happening. But in my opinion, you've got to vote reform it as an Overton window shift. They're not any good in it either with their net zero thing, but they are at least an Overton window shift. So, because you've got to really make this unacceptable for any variation of the current and previous thing has been on this.